Hi, Kevin. Well,
Hi.
I'm going to make a quick introduction about ChangeNOW because in our webpage, your summary is in English. So I'm going to translate very, very briefly, and then I'll give you the word so you can continue the presentation. Bueno, ChangeNOW organiza el mayor encuentro de changemakers, o sea, personas que cambian el mundo. En todo el planeta está creciendo una nueva generación de emprendedores y empresarios que replantean las normas y crean soluciones para un mundo mejor. En la encrucijada de los negocios, la innovación y el impacto, ChangeNOW lleva el cambio positivo al siguiente nivel. Han organizado la primera exposición mundial de innovadores para el planeta en enero 2020 en París. Nuestro papel, ChangeNOW, es reforzar las interconexiones entre los actores del ecosistema de impacto e inspirar al mayor número de personas, poniendo el punto de mira en las soluciones más concretas e innovadoras para hacer frente a los mayores retos del mundo. Okay, Kevin, go ahead.
Thank you, Alexandra. So hello, everyone. So my name is Kevin TAYEBALY. I'm one of the founders of ChangeNOW. So as you rightly pointed out, so ChangeNOW today it has become the largest summit in the world that gathers largest gathering of solutions for the planet. We organize a very important event in the year, which is actually more than an event, but I'll dive a little bit more in details later on what we do exactly. But it's a really important gathering of all the people in the world that have started and that are developing concrete solutions to address the global issues of our world, all linked to the UN SDGs, basically. And around those change makers, what we try to accomplish at ChangeNOW is to connect them with all the stakeholders who have resources that can help those solutions and those entrepreneurs and solution providers grow their impact by connecting with people with resources like money, like investors, like media, like talents, larger companies, corporates, and partners, and so on and so forth, and lawmakers as well. And the goal behind that is to say that it's we have a lot of there's a lot of intelligentsia in the world today. There's a lot of skills, a lot of knowledge. We have big issues to tackle, and I think it's not really an issue of creating new solutions, but it's more how do we orchestrate change with an ecosystem approach, which is by connecting the right people together so that collectively we can get those solutions at scale and change the systems that we currently work with and that we know are kind of out of date. So the genesis of this project started in, I would say, in 2015. In 2015, we had the Paris Agreement in December, which was the COP21 in Paris, and we saw a very large number of head of states gather and make an agreement that was really important because it was the first time that nations all over the planet agreed that we had to raise the level of ambition around carbon neutrality, and that we had actually a real climate issue that we had to solve, and all the countries from all the continents agreed to raise their targets and make a commitment collectively and individually to reach carbon neutrality by 2030, 2040, 2050, 2060, depending on the ambition that each country could take. And our idea at that time, because I met my associates when I was in business school at INSEAD in 2015, and we were very fascinated at the time by companies, by networks like the B Corps movement that was starting to be quite famous in the States and in other regions of the world, by TED Talks as well from young entrepreneurs that were really inspiring. And we had this example of Boyan Slat, who is that 17 years old kid at the time, who wanted to clean the oceans with a giant garbage, and that kid made 20 million plus views on TED, and then he raised a lot of he got a lot of media attention, he raised money, and then he developed really inspiring innovation. And our idea at the time was, there are some solutions, there are some incredible men, women and men that are actually creating really inspiring projects. The problem that we have at the moment is we need to make sure that they connect to the right people, because for them at the time in 2015, it was very difficult for social entrepreneurs to get support. And we got inspired by the tech industry, the tech ecosystem, which was very vibrant at the time, which had a lot of enthusiasm. Most of the teenagers dreamed about going to the Silicon Valley. A lot of money was in this space, a lot of events, a lot of connection between investors and entrepreneurs, and a lot of excitement from society in general. We felt that we needed to find a way to create the same kind of enthusiasm as well for what we call the impact ecosystem, which is the ecosystem of people that are trying to solve our issues with concrete solutions and with businesses. And that's when we decided to create an event that would be a kind of a way to complement the COP that gather all the political head of states. And this event the aim of it would be to gather all the solutions and the innovations that are led by private people, private individuals. Because when you look at history, all the main industrial revolutions, they were led by companies, by businesses. And if we want to achieve this really important and necessary environmental and social revolution that is ahead of us, we will need private knowledge, private innovation to achieve this. And that's why we decided to gather to scout all around the planet those solutions, those really inspiring entrepreneurs that we could find. And we told them that they should come in Paris. That was in September 2017. We managed to gather about 100 of them. We had about 2,000 people coming at this first edition in 2017. And then we made a second one in 2018. We had about 6,000 people coming. And then in 2020, in January, just before the COVID crisis hit, we had the third edition in a very inspiring venue. I'm going to try to share my screen if I can. Yes, looks like I can. Up here, which is this one, which is the Grand Palais in Paris. As you can see, we had about 30,000 people coming at the third edition from more than 150 countries, 1,000 solutions that were gathered, and a lot of partnerships that were made between lawmakers and solutions, between city mayors, investors, and companies that could recruit talents as well. A lot of great partnerships and a really inspiring event as well, because what's really important as well, what happens at ChangeNOW is it's a really profound experience in which when you come at this event, we're going to use a lot of ways to touch you and to raise awareness on what are the goals and what are the challenges that we face today, but in a very positive manner. So you will find demos of solutions. We'll use the cinema, we'll use artistic ways as well. We have a film festival as well. We have a food court that uses a lot of great new innovation and food designers that try to use food as a way also to raise awareness on what are the good habits and behaviors that consumers should have today to run more healthy lives and that are more respectful of the environment and society as well. And basically a lot of different ways to get people inspired. And what's today really the conclusion of those 3 days event that happen every year. It's you think you're going to come for an hour or two, and then you stay three days. You come back with your family, with your spouse, your husband, your kids. People, usually when they arrive, they just don't leave because it's really really inspiring, and it's because you're just surrounded with people who actually want to change the world, who are actually doing it, and this is what really creates that kind of feeling of I'm not the same person that I was when I leave this place. And yeah, so we had 4 editions in the past. The last one was in digital because of the COVID crisis, and it was in May. We gathered more than 55,000 people from 170 countries, and we're working on a new edition that will be held in Paris in the next May on the Champ de Mars, right next to the Eiffel Tower. Next May 2022. So sorry, I'm trying to stop sharing. Yeah. So that's what's about this summit in general. But I would say now you were asking Rodrigo about our next projects, and the idea is really to get this summit to grow in the future and to make sure that more and more influential people with power to change things come every year and connect with concrete solutions and for the years to come, and to make sure that this summit becomes, goes from a 2-day event to a 1-week event where hundreds of thousands of people will come with formats around, with B2B connection, but also with a lot of ways to touch people with artistic means as well, with a film festival, with a music festival as well, with a lot of new ways for people to interact and come with their families, because we want this to be also a celebration of change by change makers, by entrepreneurs, by people, executives as well, but also by citizens. And that's I think, the kind of events that really inspire us are events like the CES in Las Vegas, like Burning Man in Nevada as well, and the city in Montreal. That's the kind of direction we're taking, which is a really a summit that drives people to be more engaged with our issues, but to make sure that they don't, that they feel that they are empowered to have an impact at their own level in their professional lives, but also in their private lives. And beyond the summit, we're also working on other verticals during the year. We're helping companies as well, large companies in Europe, to basically find concrete solutions to address, to help them in their, reduce their own impact at all level of the value chain. So in every industry, from the mobility industry to energy to consumer luxury industry, we're trying to help those companies find partners and innovators that can really help them change their models and adapt it to the world we live in and we will be living in tomorrow, a more sustainable world. And we're also working on new formats, new other verticals of events in other geographies, in London, in Amsterdam, in other regions of the world around specific verticals. We have an event scheduled in December around women and women that are leading in the impact world. So we will be putting on stage 15 really inspiring women that we've selected with our partners that are really changing the game in their own specific industries. And we're also working on a very inspiring project in France that will go international very soon, which is a new way to rank schools, business schools, engineering schools, universities, architecture schools as well, design, and so on and so forth. Because the idea was today, 85% of students, when they leave their studies, they feel that they are not prepared to, they don't have the skills to, when they enter companies that match the goals, the challenges that we are going to be facing in the 21st century. And on the other side, the businesses, they declare that the people that are employing today that come from their studies don't have the skills that are needed as well to address those issues. So the idea is to say, we are going to change the way schools are ranked today, because the way they are ranked is mainly based on the average salary at the exit of your school, the percentage employment you're going to get, the reputation of the school, and so on and so forth. And the idea was to say, well, we would like to change those criteria and say we are going to now evaluate schools based on what is how much knowledge are students getting on the UN SDGs, basically on the environmental and social causes of the world, how much research is being made by the school on those topics, how many alumni are working in this space, how eco-friendly is the campus, how engaged are students and with those topics during the year, and how diverse as well are the students and the teacher as well, and and many more criteria that we are using to evaluate those schools and universities. And we are launching the first this first ranking, Les Echos, Le Parisien, which is a very famous economic media in France, at the end of the month, and the goal is to make the same in other countries next year as well. And yes, and then we have other plans as well, the other geographies around sustainable fashion and around health as well. We will be organizing a large event around health at the Parc des Princes, if you know football, PSG, very soon. And yeah, those are the projects that we're working on at this time. We are now a team of 20 people, in majority women, because it looks like women are more qualified and more engaged than men, and more concerned by those topics. And yeah, and that's basically that's where we are at right now. We are it's been quite exciting for the past few months and years, and very excited about what's going ahead for us at ChangeNOW. Maybe if there's any questions that you would like to ask, very happy to answer them.
Sure. Nina, do you have any question for Kevin?
Only that it would be wonderful to participate in it in some way, because I work with so many important artists in all different mediums around the world. So, and I have public screens. Streaming Museum launched in 2008 as a public space program. So I would send art exhibitions to 7 continents to public spaces. So, and also the Land Art Generator Institute that is going to be speaking, I think, right after you. Maybe you already are in touch with them, but they are a model program for artworks that are also renewable energy. It is such a positive work that they're doing for the future. So I'm happy to meet you.
Sure, very happy to connect.
Yeah.
Well, Kevin, thank you very much. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, no, but I have one question related to Nina's comment / question is, do you have to curate? Like, do you have so many people applying to each event now that you are moving towards huge, from big to huge? Or do you look for interesting projects and call on them, invite them?
Yeah, that's a very good question. So we're both curating and using our partners. We have about 200 partners in the world, networks, incubators, accelerators, NGOs, large institutions as well, that are helping us scout and find solutions. We were 3 at the beginning, so we had to use a lot of partners because a lot of our people actually have made this work as well. And so we wanted to rely on what the ecosystem is actually doing. But we do have a lot of people that actually write to us directly. And so we do have the ChangeNOW calls for solution. And there's, I would say, a good chunk, I think 40–50%, I would say, of the solution that we showcase today that are directly curated by us. And the rest is the top solutions that are brought by our partners.
Wow, amazing.